Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about what really happened at F1's first test of 2026, as well as an update following a Mercedes request. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and X at James's Pit Lane. I'll leave links in the description. But let's jump straight into the video. Now, as we know, the first test of 2026 in Barcelona is happening behind closed doors. That's been known for a long time now, and it means that F1 fans, the media, have no access to the track. However, as day one got underway, F1 teams, the official F1 account, they were posting some videos and photos of cars getting out on track. And while information from official channels was very limited, other outlets were reporting things like lap times, information about new entrants Audi and Cadillac, spy shots. So yeah, I'd say we were getting some decent information as day one got underway. However, the race said that F1 sought to limit the amount of information coming out from the track, with security patrolling its surroundings and a publicly available live timing feed cut off a few hours into the running. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it was necessary to cut off the timing feed. I'm not sure what difference it makes if it's on or off. However, at least some lap times were reported, and the race say that Red Bull and the Mercedes were the two standout cars in the classification, taking turns in first place. And times from the race show that Isaac Hadjar set a 1 minute 18.159, which was the fastest time of the day, while George Russell was 5/10 slower. And in terms of Red Bull, they set 107 laps, while Russell completed 93 laps. Meanwhile, Franco Colapinto was third, 2 seconds slower than Hadjar with 60 laps, and Kimi Antonelli was fourth with 56 laps under his belt. And it looks like Esteban Ocon did the most laps of the day, with him completing 154. Now, one thing to note is that Red Bull seemed to go for the C3 tyre in this test, with them choosing 18 sets of soft tyres. Meanwhile, Mercedes chose the most hard tyres for this test, so it's likely that Red Bull were running a softer tyre compound than Mercedes. And meanwhile, there were some reports about new entrants Audi and Cadillac, with the race saying an Audi stoppage with Gabriel Bortoleto behind the wheel caused an early red flag, and the car equipped with the new Audi power unit seemingly never returns from there on. Meanwhile, Cadillac logged miles with both Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez, but that mileage was limited overall, with issues reported and Perez in particular barely getting into a double-digit lap count. Now, I want to go back to what the race said about security patrolling the grounds, because the race actually sent journalists to the track to see what they could find out. Now, the race say there's a huge open grass space that is well known to F1 fans and the media because it offers a view from outside the track of the final sequence of corners at Barcelona, with different vantage points giving a clear line of sight at turn 10 or the pit lane entry and final corner. However, the race say, but with it quickly becoming clear that there's a desire for no uncontrolled information from the test to get out, a super strict security lockdown imposed around the circuit meant that this area too was suddenly made off limits. It took just 18 minutes of testing to get underway before the first security car turned up and ordered a handful of assembled journalists and photographers away. And while local journalists with better knowledge of the area tried to argue that this was public land as a hiking trail, the insistence from security was that everywhere that has a view of the track was off limits because it's owned by the track. Now, personally, I think that's unfair. That's like being told you can't be in a certain area because there's a football match going on and you can hear what's going on inside the football stadium. At the end of the day, if that area is a public space, you're entitled to be there. You can be there. And on a day where fears about multiple red flags due to the complexity of the 26 cars had not materialised, it just further adds to the mystery about why there's been such a push to lock everything down for F1's first test. And I do hope things are more lenient as the week goes on. But let's move on to Max Verstappen, and as we know, he enjoys GT racing and would like to take part in the Nürburgring 24 hours. However, this takes place between the Miami and Canadian Grand Prix on May 16th and 17th, and before this, Verstappen must complete a race in preparation, although the problem is that all of the NLS races prior to the 24 hours clash with F1 events, with the season opener clashing with the Chinese Grand Prix on the weekend of March 14th to 15th. Now, as we know, Verstappen's GT3 racing team has recently partnered with Mercedes. And Autosport reported earlier this month that Mercedes had made an official request to the NLS to postpone the NLS 1 race date, with it saying that rumour has it Mercedes is making efforts at the highest level. Mercedes-Benz boss Oda Kalinius and Motorsport chief Toto Wolff are said to have lobbied for Verstappen to postpone the NLS season opener on 14th March, which currently clashes with the Chinese Grand Prix. And now it looks like there's been an update, with the race saying that organisers initially explored the possibility of moving NLS 1, but despite their best efforts, that option proved unworkable. Attention then turned to plan B, bringing NLS 2 forward by 1 week from its original March 28 date, which clashes with the Japanese Grand Prix. And the race went on to say a meeting was held last week to discuss that scenario, and the race understands that a solution has now been found. The fact that the Rundstraßen Challenge Nürburgring, another championship run exclusively on the Nordschleife, announced a calendar change appears to confirm that information. The start of the 2026 season of the Rundstraßen Challenge Nürburgring will be slightly delayed, the organisers stated. The first RCN event will now take place on Saturday 28th March 2026, following a change of date. The RCN responded to the wishes of the ADAC Ravenel Nürburgring Endurance Series and the ADAC, which had revised their season schedule at short notice. And according to the race, that development would open the door for Verstappen to take part in NLS 2 at the wheel of a Winwood Racing Mercedes on March 21st. And there is no F1 event on March 21st, so that could work in Verstappen's favour. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.